The night was unusually quiet. The streets outside were empty, the neon signs flickering faintly in the distance. Apartment 304 stood like a black box in the middle of the building, its curtains drawn, its silence unnatural. Inside that apartment, Imran Shah, a well-dressed businessman in his mid-40s, sat at the dining table. His dinner plate was untouched. A glass of wine stood beside him, half filled, reflecting the dim yellow light. But Imran was not alive to drink it. His body was leaning forward, his face pale, his eyes wide open in terror. A deep wound across his throat had ended his life in silence. On the wall, just above his body, were 3 words scrawled in blood. "She knows everything." When Detective Harris arrived at the scene, the apartment felt wrong. The smell of iron hung in the air, the heavy metallic scent of blood. The windows were locked from the inside, and there were no signs of forced entry. Whoever killed Imran had been invited in. Harris examined the table. A smartphone lay beside the victim, its screen still glowing. A message was open in drafts, half-typed but never sent. "Greater than, if anything happens to me, look for." It ended abruptly, as if the killer had interrupted him mid-sentence. The detective frowned. Something felt deliberate. He picked up the phone carefully, only to realize something terrifying: there were no fingerprints on it. Not even Imran's. The phone had been wiped clean. As Harris moved deeper into the apartment, he noticed small, eerie details. A second wine glass on the counter, recently used. A faint trail of muddy shoe prints leading from the door to the dining table, but no return trail. And worst of all, the victim's wristwatch had stopped ticking at 12:14 a.m. The neighbors told police they hadn't seen anyone enter or leave. The cameras in the building's hallway were mysteriously offline that night. And then, while Harris inspected the darkened hallway, he heard it. A floorboard creaking. Someone was still inside. He drew his gun, his flashlight trembling slightly as the beam cut through the darkness. Each step echoed in the silence. A bedroom door stood half open. He pushed it gently. Inside, the mirror was cracked, and on the glass, written in what looked like dried blood, were more words. "You're next, detective." Harris froze. His breath quickened. That message hadn't been there when the first officers entered. Which meant, the killer was still in the apartment. Watching him.